Tickle torture. The horrifying truth behind the ancient punishment that turned laughter into agony. Have you ever considered that one of the most brutal ancient punishments was tied to laughter? It sounds bizarre, as laughter is typically a symbol of joy and happiness. Yet in the hands of cruel rulers, a smile was weaponized into a tool of torment, driving victims to utter despair. This technique was known as tickle torture, a gruesome, chilling method of abuse that makes anyone who hears of it shudder. Join me as we explore the reality behind this punishment, why it existed, and how science has explained the horrific pain it inflicted. The gruesome mechanism from tickle to total agony. Tickle torture was no joke. It was a sophisticated torture technique originating in ancient societies, notably among the Greeks and Romans. Victims were typically bound hand and foot, rendering them completely helpless. Their feet would be smeared with an attractive liquid like honey or salt, substances capable of attracting animals. Subsequently, goats or cattle would be brought in to continuously lick the soles of the bound person's feet. This might sound benign, even funny, but imagine the feeling of being tickled relentlessly in the exact same spot, with no escape or resistance possible. What began as a mere tickle rapidly escalated into utter agony, forcing the victim into agonizing laughter, and ultimately leading to a state of complete exhaustion. Neuroscience explains the horror, gargalesis, and stress hormones. To understand why this punishment caused such extreme suffering, we must look at the biological mechanism of tickling. Scientists call this intense, ticklish sensation gargalesis, a form of stimulation that occurs when a sensitive patch of skin is repeatedly provoked. When animals licked the feet, thousands of nerve endings beneath the skin transmitted chaotic signals to the brain, simultaneously triggering the laugh reflex and activating the pain warning system. The soles of the feet, which contain countless nerve endings, are particularly sensitive. The victims initially laughed, but as the assault continued, the body could no longer cope, shifting into sharp, burning pain, and finally, total systemic collapse. Neuroscience also points to another factor. Absolute helplessness during the tickling exponentially increased the terror. When tied down, the brain registered the lack of escape, leading the body to secrete large amounts of stress hormones like cortisol. This caused a rapid heartbeat, high blood pressure, and the sensation of tickling degenerated into sheer horror. This combination of physiological and psychological factors transformed tickle torture into genuine torment, the pain of helplessness and symbolic meaning. The ancient Greeks and Romans used this punishment not only to discipline criminals, but also to humiliate political prisoners. The ruler could demonstrate their power by turning laughter, the very symbol of happiness, into a tool of torture. Historical records suggest that some prisoners were bound for hours, even days, their feet gradually becoming ulcerated from animal saliva and friction, causing them to die in agonizing, forced laughter. Viewed from a sociological perspective, this punishment also carried profound symbolic weight. It shows how ancient people used fear and shame as a means of control. The tortured individual did not only suffer physical pain, but was also turned into an object of amusement for others. That forced laughter was not joy, it was a stain recorded forever. It represented a dual form of violence, physical and psychological. From savage ordeal to humanistic lesson. Interestingly, the tickle sensation itself evolved as a survival mechanism. Scientists suggest that sensitivity in the feet, armpits, or ribs helped our ancestors react quickly to insects or predators. That uncomfortable feeling forced us to move and protect ourselves. Yet, when exploited for torture, this very instinct became an instrument that tormented humans far worse than any physical wound. Today, when we recount tickle torture, we don't just shudder at the savagery. We see a greater lesson. Humans are capable of turning even the most innocent things, like laughter, into a tool for inflicting pain. And this reflects a dangerous instinct, the thirst for domination. In retrospect, tickle torture is perhaps a vivid testament to an age-old paradox. Laughter can both save and kill. In parties, laughter is a bonding catalyst. But in the ancient dungeons, laughter was the terrifying sound of ultimate agony. And that is a reminder that unchecked power can turn the most beautiful things into a haunting nightmare. Is the memory of that punishment another form of immortality in history, so that the next generation does not repeat it? Perhaps we'd never forget tickle torture, not because it was glorious, but because it teaches us a bitter truth. Human nature is capable of both inventing joy and twisting it into an instrument of torment. And as long as we remember, we have a chance to choose a more humanistic path where laughter remains solely a symbol of freedom and happiness.